What if Muggles found out about the wizarding world? It starts with one video the Ministry cannot erase. A wizard apparates into a crowded station, casts magic in front of hundreds of phones, and disappears. By the time the Obliviators arrive, the footage has already been copied, live-streamed, translated, slowed down, sharpened, and turned into a reaction video by someone who pauses every 4 seconds. The secret is over. The first 24 hours. The first problem is not panic. It is disbelief. People call the video CGI, artificial intelligence, or an elaborate advertisement for a film that does not exist. Then a broomstick crosses a motorway. A ministry official accidentally turns a police car into a tortoise. And a dragon appears above Wales, which becomes difficult to dismiss once it starts eating sheep in front of 3 news helicopters. The ministry uses its usual response. Contain the scene, modify the witnesses, repair the damage, blame a gas leak. That worked when evidence lived inside human memory. It works less well when every witness owns a phone that automatically uploads everything. Erase one person's memory, and their cloud storage still remembers. By nightfall, the ministry has learned that obliviate the internet is not a real spell, and the Muggle world has moved on to the next question. Who already knew? The government confession. The answer creates a bigger crisis than the magic itself. The British Prime Minister admits that the government has known about witches and wizards for years. Not every detail. Probably not that the National Magical Prison was guarded by floating creatures that remove happiness from the room. But enough. The public hears one thing. Their leaders knew that people could teleport, copy faces, control minds, and erase memories, and decided not to mention it. Every unexplained scandal suddenly looks suspicious. Was a witness modified? Was a politician controlled? Was a criminal really innocent? Or did someone wave a wand near the evidence? Parliament demands wand records, magical population numbers, and proof that no minister is under the Imperious curse. The ministry refuses. From its perspective, Muggle governments are asking for a list of every magical family. From the Muggle perspective, the ministry is a hidden government admitting it has mind control spells, but asking everyone to remain calm. One press conference collapses when a journalist asks how anyone can prove the official speaking is actually himself. Nobody has a good answer. Finding the hidden population. And then the internet starts looking for wizards. Muggle-born families become the easiest place to begin. Their children attended ordinary primary schools, vanished into an unlisted boarding school at 11, and returned every summer with suspiciously vague explanations. Journalists compare school records. Neighbors remember the child who once made a kitchen window explode or disappear without touching it. Former classmates begin posting stories. Most suspected witches and wizards are completely ordinary people who once owned a strange coat. A few names are correct. Some Muggle-borns become celebrities overnight. Others are accused of helping conceal the truth. Their parents are surrounded outside their homes and asked why they never mentioned the moving staircases. Magical children become even more vulnerable. Before exposure, accidental magic could be blamed on bad wiring or an overactive imagination. Now, one floating toy can bring police, cameras, government investigators, and an influencer filming meeting a real wizard baby. The ministry tries relocating families in secret. Unfortunately, secret relocation becomes harder when the entire country is watching every fireplace. Everyone wants magic, but fear is only half the problem. The other half is demand. Diagon Alley becomes the most desired tourist destination on Earth. Thousands gather near the leaky cauldron, although most cannot see the entrance and assume the pub is running an unusually aggressive private event. Hospitals want potions. Energy companies want enchantments. Airlines want broomstick technology. The wealthy want all of it before everyone else. Private clinics begin advertising magical treatment without employing a single healer. Auction houses sell authentic wizard objects. Most are fake. One necklace is real, and the auction ends when 3 bidders collapse. Then the public learns that magical medicine can regrow bones and repair injuries that would permanently disable a Muggle. That changes everything. If a potion can save someone, who gets it? Can magical healers be ordered to work in Muggle hospitals? Why should one hidden community possess cures unavailable to billions? Wizarding officials explain that magic has limits, and potions cannot simply be mass-produced. Nobody enjoys discovering that miracles have supply chain problems. The black market moves faster. Official negotiations take months. Crime needs one afternoon. Fake wands appear online within hours. A few real ones follow. Stolen potion ingredients, cursed jewelry, enchanted keys, and bottled substances claiming to be Felix Felicis spread across hidden markets. Most are scams. Some are much worse. Love potions become an international emergency. Polyjuice potion becomes more valuable than almost any illegal drug because one dose can place the wrong face inside a bank, military base, government office, or extremely confusing marriage. Invisibility products flood the market. Most are blankets with holes cut into them. A few work. The first Muggle criminal to buy a vanishing cabinet uses it to rob a jewelry shop and becomes trapped because he bought only one cabinet. The Ministry creates a task force to stop magical goods entering Muggle society. It loses half its evidence inside a suitcase that is larger on the inside. The security panic. Only now do governments begin treating magic as a military threat. Not because wizards have declared war, because nobody knows what would happen if a few of them did. Airspace around suspected magical locations is monitored. Senior officials stop meeting strangers alone. Rotating passwords are introduced because Polyjuice Potion makes faces unreliable. Government buildings add more guards, which works perfectly until someone remembers that apparition removes the part where an intruder walks through the entrance. Wizards look almost unstoppable. They can cross borders instantly, hide buildings from maps, and conceal entire locations behind enchantments. But Muggles have advantages the magical world has ignored for centuries. Drones can watch for hours. Snipers can strike from distances most duelists never consider. Thermal cameras may not understand concealment charms, but they can still notice 50 warm bodies entering an apparently empty field. The wizarding world also has very few people. Losing one experienced Auror means losing decades of training. Losing one drone means opening another box. Neither side wants open war. Both begin preparing for it anyway. The wizarding world splits. The real danger comes from inside wizard kind. Muggle-born witches and wizards argue for cooperation. They understand both cultures and know secrecy cannot simply be restored. Traditionalists demand stronger concealment charms and hidden settlements. Pure-blood extremists argue that Muggles should be controlled before they become dangerous. Muggle extremists use those speeches as recruitment material. One peaceful magical rally receives little attention. One wizard shouting about Muggle inferiority is viewed 80 million times before breakfast. The first attack is small. A frightened Muggle group targets a magical family. The family escapes, but a defensive spell injures one attacker. A shortened recording shows only the spell. Protests begin. Another wizard retaliates against a Muggle office. Someone uses the Imperious Curse on a police officer. Nobody knows which later actions are voluntary. Every defensive measure starts looking like preparation for war. The first major clash. The crisis peaks when Muggle forces locate a magical storage site. They surround it with drones, armored vehicles, and hundreds of soldiers. Inside are fewer than 30 witches and wizards. The military expects a siege. The wizards disapparate before the first order is given. Minutes later, spells hit the command post from inside its own perimeter. 2 officers are controlled. One vehicle becomes a flock of geese. The soldiers fire at targets that vanish between shots. Then Muggle artillery destroys the empty site from miles away. The wizards escape. The Muggles erase the base. Both sides claim victory. Nobody mentions the geese. The new rules. That clash finally forces both governments to negotiate, not because they trust each other, because neither society can function while every leader, hospital, school, and witness is treated as a possible magical security breach. A new agreement replaces secrecy with controlled contact. Magical identities receive legal protection. Memory charms, Polyjuice impersonation, and the Imperious Curse become international crimes when used without authority. Joint teams investigate attacks involving both worlds. Selected magical treatments enter Muggle hospitals. Muggle technology enters the Ministry, where the first computer is placed beside a fireplace and immediately covered in soot. Hogwarts remains hidden. Diagon Alley opens under restrictions. The first permanent joint checkpoint appears at King's Cross. It lasts 11 minutes before someone apparates around it.